All right, it is time to set up your domain name and your hosting plan. Now, if you aren't familiar with what those terms mean, a domain name is the URL of your site. It's the address that users will type into the address bar in their browser to view your site. So a couple very well-known examples are facebook.com and cnn.com. A hosting account, on the other hand, is where you actually build your site and store all of the files for your website. The hosting company provides you with space on one of their servers to store these files, and they also serve your site up to visitors. Now, for purposes of this tutorial, I am going to be using SiteGround.com for both the domain name and the hosting. I highly recommend SiteGround. I love them because they are super low cost, but they provide amazing support, speed, and uptime. So if you want to follow along step by step, you'll want to use SiteGround. However, the steps should be very similar at most other providers as well. So to get started, head on over to SiteGround.com by clicking the link below this video in your dashboard. Hover over the Web Hosting tab and click the orange Learn More button under the Shared Hosting Plans. Here you'll see three options for hosting plans. The cheapest on the left is the Startup plan, which is $3.95 a month, and the most expensive on the right is the Go Geek plan, which is $11.95 a month. Now, if you're just starting off, I recommend going with the cheapest plan. You can always upgrade later very easily, and this should be more than enough for you for at least the first year or two. So go ahead and click the orange Get Started button under the Startup plan. On the next page, we're going to register our new domain name. So how to choose a domain name could be an entire course in and of itself. There's a lot of factors involved, and a lot of it really comes down to personal preference. So I won't go into how to select a domain name here, but once you know which domain you'd like to register, you just type it into this text box here. And then click the blue Proceed button. On the next page, you'll see a notification at the top. It says, "Congratulations, your domain is available." So the next few sections are very self-explanatory. I won't go through them, but you enter your account information, your client information, and your payment information. I do want to go through a couple things under purchase information. So under your hosting services, you see this data center. This should be automatically set to the closest location. Just leave that as is. Let's talk about the time period. By default, this is set to 12 months, but you can change this to as many as 36 months or even just start off with 1 month. Now, one thing to keep in mind is you are charged a lower rate for your first time period of billing. So for the first time period, we're paying $3.95 a month. The regular price for this hosting plan is $9.95 a month. So when your 12 months are over and you renew, you'll be paying the higher price. For that reason, if your budget allows, and if you know you want to stick with this for a little bit, you might want to choose a longer time period so that you can lock in that lower rate. So I'll choose 36 months. And under extra services, there's two options here, Domain Privacy and SG Site Scanner. Domain Privacy, I would highly recommend. It's only $12 a year. And what it does is it hides your personal contact information. So there is an international registry of domain names, and anyone can look in this registry to see who owns the domain name. They can see the address, name, and phone number of the owner. So by choosing this option of domain privacy, SiteGround will mask your personal information so no one can actually see your home address, for example. The SG Site Scanner, I think it's a nice to have. It's not absolutely necessary. What it does is it basically scans your site every day for any evidence of hacks or malicious code. And I will show you at the end of this course how to do something very similar for free. However, this option is a little more robust. So if your budget allows, it's only $19.80 a year, and it might be worth it for peace of mind. But I'm going to uncheck that because I just don't have the budget for that right now. I'm going to scroll down, and that is really it. All you do now is click the blue Pay Now button, and your transaction will be processed. You should be receiving an email from SiteGround very soon that has your login information. Be sure to write that information down or copy it into your password keeper because we'll be using it up next in the very next lesson.